Hello, my dear students. How are you all? So here I am Deepti Nair. I am taking here the chapter 5 of third class English book, and here the chapter named it as Living Free. Okay, so mainly this chapter is related with the concept of freedom. That means everyone wishes to live free without any restrictions. Okay, my dear students. So here we are starting our chapter, and I request you everyone that pay attention, listen carefully wherever I am reading. Okay, so my dear students, so here you can see two pictures now. In first picture you can see the parrot is in the cage, and the second picture you can see the parrot which is living free. So which parrot will be very happy? Which one here in this, which parrot will be very happy? That means the parrot which is living free. So everyone wishes to live free. Okay, so here I'm starting our story, that is Parul. So here in this story, we will be seeing the mainly two characters, that is Parul and the grandma. Okay, so the girl named it as Parul and her grandma named it as Gauri. So Parul was spending her holidays at her grandma's house near the beach at Gopalpur in Odisha. So she was spending her holidays in her grandma's house, which is nearby the beach at Gopalpur in Odisha. Grandma Gauri worked with a local group that helped the animals in need. So what was this grandma was doing? She was working with the group, okay, mainly a particular group which helped the animals in need. Okay, so Parul enjoyed being with her grandma and learned a lot of things from her. So she was very much happy with her grandma and she was learning many things from her. I love Grandma Gauri. So she was telling, Parul was telling that I love my Grandma Gauri. And why she loves her Grandma Gauri? Because she never forces me to do anything. That means she never forces her to do anything. Okay. Parul wrote this to her parents. Okay, she wrote this to her parents. She helps me think about what I do and why I do it. One evening, as they were watching the sunset, they heard an odd noise. Okay, one evening they were watching the sunset nearby the beach, so they heard an odd noise. So, odd meaning that is strange noise coming from there, like a strict scratch. It's coming from those seashells I found today. Parul pointed to her beach bucket. So it is coming from those seashells I found today. So Parul told that that sound is coming from the seashells which she found it today. Look at that, said Grandma. Some hermit crabs had already made the homes in your shells. And now Grandma pointed that, my dear daughter, you can see there some hermit crabs. Crabs had already made the homes in your shells. Parul sat down next to her beach bucket. At first, she she saw only seashells. Then a little heads and a claws appeared from the shell. So slowly, what was coming from there? Little heads and claws appeared from the shells. They moved around in the bucket and making strict scratching sound. So what sound was coming from there? Stretch scratching sound. So even a crabs can be quite delightful. So delightful means something that gives great happiness. Okay, so grandma said that even a crabs can also be quite delightful, can give something great happiness. I want to keep them, said Parul. They will be my pet. I will get a box with a lid. She ran into the house. Are you sure you want to put them in a box? Asked Grandma. Oh, I will take good care of them, Parul said. So Parul said that she wants to make them as a pet and she will be taking care of them. Well, then we should make sure they can breathe, said Grandma, making holes for ears in the lid of the box. So they were preparing the home for these hermit crabs. Then Parul poured some sand into the box, a little bit of water, and finally placed some tiny stones in the sand. So what they put there? They poured some sand into the box, a little bit of water, and finally placed some tiny stones in the sand. Parul lifted each hermit crabs and put into the box. So she kept each hermit crabs there in the box. You have a perfect little beach, she said, smiling. I am sure you will be happy here. Then she took the box to her room. Then at last what she have done? She took that box to her room. But her room got quiet. The stretch scratching noises started again. At night, Parul could not sleep. So at night, Parul was not able to sleep. Why she was not able to sleep? That we can see. The hermit crabs kept her awake. So who kept her awake? The hermit crabs. When she looked into the box, she saw the crabs trying to climb out of it. So when she looked into the box, she saw that the crabs were trying to come outside. Means they were not wishing to stay there. They wants to come out. Parul carried the box to the living room where grandma was reading. Can you take me to the beach? Parul asked to the grandma that can you take me to the beach? Grandma closed her book. I don't think they are happy in the box. I want to let them go. So finally Parul told that I don't think that they are happy in the box. Means I don't think that they are happy in the box and I won't let them to go. Good idea, grandma said, smiling. All living things should be free. So she told that all living things should be free. We should not keep them inside. We should not keep them in the cage. That which I told you in the first page. Now that parrots which are staying in the cage are not at all happy. Parul had never been to the beach at night. There were stars shining in the sky. She saw their reflection in the water. A banana shaped moon made the sea look bright. So, Parul had never been to the beach at night. The first time she was going there she saw stars were shining in the sky. She saw their reflection in the water also and the banana shaped moon. So, what was the shape of the moon? That is banana shaped moon, which made the sea look very bright. Now I know why they don't want to live in the box. Now she got that why these hermit crabs were not wishing to stay there. It's so beautiful out here. She removed the lid and kept the box on the sand. She and Grandma watched the hermit crabs run off into the silvery light. I am glad you did this. Never put the living things in a cage. So, Grandma told that I am very much happy and never put the living things in the cage. Look, the moon is smiling too, said Grandma with a laugh. So, here, reflection word meaning that is images seen on mirror or shiny surfaces. Glad means happy. Okay, my dear students, so here in this picture, you can see the grandma, Gauri and Parul were enjoying there in the beach. The hermit crabs were playing there in the silvery night. And you can see the banana-shaped moon and also the stars were shining in the sky. And also you can see the reflection of the moon there in the beach. So how beautiful, na? So that's why they called it as a silvery night. Parul smiled back at the moon and put her hands in Grandma Gauri's as they walked home. So they walked home. Her mother and father came the next day to take Parul back to the city. So Parul came there to enjoy their holidays at her grandma's house. So her father and mother came to pick up her. They came the next day to take the Parul back to the city. In her room at home, Parul unpacked her bags. That means she had not packed her bags. She arranged the seashells neatly in a row. None of them had a hermit crabs inside. Okay. Now the seashells were empty. While getting ready for a bed, Parul found something special. So she was getting ready for the bed. So Parul found something special. The same stars and the banana moons were outside her window. They had followed her home and the moon was still smiling. So, what she found something special the same stars and banana moons were outside of her window and they had followed her. They came with her home and the moon was still smiling. The moon was still happy and smiling. Okay, my dear students, so did you enjoy the story? So, what will be the moral of the story? That means we should never keep the living things in the cage, and the living things or the living things should be always be free. Means we should not keep them in the cages, and they always wants to be free. Okay.